played more matches than anybody in this tournament field as Everett hits it into the net. That's an area she's struggled with too. You live and die by the serve, and she is first in the nation with 71 service errors coming in. But this team in Parkland, 225 ace serves on the year. That is tops in the country. But they're also tops with 290 service errors at that. Subbing in for Sauk Valley is number 4, Audra Goff. And also on the front, Lovegren, too. You'll see that rotation quite often from Coach Howell as Rotella's attack on the near side misses the stripe here on the closest side of the court to us up top of the Allied Energy Powerhouse. And Parkland takes the lead, 5-4. Brandon checks out for Parkland. The serving is Kaiser, and it goes off the arm of Carlson on the back row. Kaiser gets an ace serve of her own, and she's very strong there as well. Although towards the bottom portion of the roster as it goes, 10 ace serves coming in to today. 6-4 the Cobras lead. This one Carlson gets underneath. Rotella is going to set it back to the middle for Lovegren, who returns a free ball off to Parkland. That was Klassen who played that volleyball. Sorter sends over one to Carlson off the hands on the back row of number 5, I believe. No, it was number 9, Hallie Everett, that got a piece of it. As Kaiser rotates out, Brandon in for the Parkland Cobras. As a side out to the Skyhawks. Good attack from the back row for Carlson. Rotella's serve is dug back row by Parkland. Smith looking for Sorter. Big swing off the block. Goodness, that went quickly off the right hand of Sorter, and nothing that the Skyhawk defense could do about it. Back to serve goes Summer Smith. Klassen checks out. Back in on the front row for Parkland is, I believe, Erica Richardson. It will be, and it's an ace serve for Summer Smith. 17 of them coming into this tournament. She was the only returning starter from last year's team. In 2019, I should say. 2-time defending runner-up. Parkland Cobras at that. They did make it to these finals these past 2 years. Smith was a part of it last year. Another ace serve from Smith back-to-back as Rotella couldn't handle that one, and the Cobras have opened up a 4-point lead, 9-5 against the Skyhawks. Again from Smith. This time Sands gets behind it up front. The pass to Goff. Near side set for Sanders. Off to the far side. Sorter hits it high in the air, and Smith will return a free ball to Sanders. Goff's going to go back to her on the near side. Blocked back, and it will be in the court of play, as I believe it was Sperling who was there for the block. Her and Sorter both in the area. And the Cobra is out in front by 5, 10-5. Another area where this Parkland team excels is at the net. First in the nation, 510 total blocks on the year. Smith's right-hander this time goes into the net. And the Cobras will send it back to the Skyhawks. I mentioned they're 31-1, Parkland is. That only loss coming to the number 1 team in our tournament, Illinois Central, back on March 10th. That was a 5-set thriller, and we could be in store to see that possibly in a couple of days. As Sorter has her attack blocked back. Grieve at the net for Sauk Valley. Sends it right back where it came from, and the Skyhawks cut it down to a 3-point deficit, 10-7. Serving is Sanders as Rotella rotated out. Short serve. Brandon got underneath it. Now on the attack and long with it is Sperling. Nice little run here from Sauk Valley to climb back into it. A 3-love run currently after the Cobras had opened up a 5-point lead. Sanders again from behind the line. Her right-hander's dug by Brandon. Smith up front looking middle for Richardson. Blocked back. Grieve was there again. Sauk Valley turning the tables on the Parkland Cobras, getting some work done above the tape. And it was Grieve able to make the play defensively. Nice solo block from Lexi Grieve. Had 49 on the year coming in. Now on the attack. This time it gets down. A big swing from Sperling, and she didn't miss down the near side that time. As she'll check out, Linton comes back in for Parkland as the Cobras get a side out. 11-9, they lead. It will be Linton's serve as she heads back behind the line and sets her sights on where to go at this Skyhawk defense. Dug by Sands. Bump set from Goff, far side, looking for Sanders. Brandon got underneath it. Now Everett on the near side. That was Sanders. It was Grieve who had the attack on the last rally. Lovegren sent over a free ball. Richardson on the attack. Blocked back again, this time by Carlson on the far side of the floor. And Sauk Valley really, again, giving Parkland a taste of their own medicine with the defense above the top tape. Nice back-to-back solo blocks in a matter of 3 points for Sauk Valley. And it will be Kraft who has rotated in to serve for the Skyhawks. Everett digs. The pass from Linton back up front to Everett. Missed down the near side. Oh, wait a second. One of our line judges has it out. The other had it in on the near side, but they go with the line judge that has the best view right there on the Skyhawk side. 11 all here in set number 1 as Everett gets under the short serve from Kraft. Sorter, big swing, missed near side. And Sauk Valley leads 12-11. They have battled Parkland this year in those previous 2 matchups. A couple of sets that went 25-23. Actually, a few of them, as a matter of fact, between the 2 matches. Everett's right-hander does go off Sands this time and out of play as Parkland answers to tie it at 12. Allie Everett, with her first kill of the match, leads this team, coming in 373 kills on the year, second in all the country. Brandon, the libero for the Cobras to serve. Her right-hander is ducked by Carlson. Kraft's going to come right back to her. Blocked back, though, as right up front, Everett was there for the solo block herself. 61 of them coming into the tournament. 13-12, Cobras back in front by 1 as Brandon gets a new volleyball and gets ready to serve. Right-hand jump serve from the libero, dug by Sanders. Kraft, far side, looking for Grieve, dug by Everett. Smith, far side for Richardson, a standing shot, blocked back though by Sauk Valley. The Cobras handle it. Everett on the attack, dug by Sands. Kraft, far side for Grieve once more, blocked back by Richardson, back over the net. Kaiser sends it back down, but Carlson was ready for it. Now it is Kraft to the back row attack for Sanders, handled by Linton. Everett, near side, dug by Sanders. Kraft gets over to it, bump set, and a free ball returned by Grieve off to Linton. Smith, far side, Richardson off of Sands, and the Cobras back in front by 2. Good offensive set for the Cobras and a good rally between the 2. But the Cobras ultimately get the point. Brandon again from behind the line, her right-hander. Sands digs it up high. Kraft comes back to it, sets it for Sanders. A back row attack dug by Linton. Smith looking middle for Kaiser. Off the block, backed up well by Sands. Kraft to Grieve. Brandon able to get underneath it. Smith looking for Richardson. Off of Sands again. They're picking on the libero on the back row. Sands has had a couple of hot shots come right at her in back-to-back sequences. And the Cobras back in front by 3, 15-12, and a timeout is going to be used by Jay Howell, the 11th year head man of the Skyhawks, as the Cobras out front 15-12 here in set number 1. Fans, you can follow all the action of the 2021 NJCAA National Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to www.njcaatv.com to view live and archived broadcasts of all NJCAA national tournaments. The NJCAA Network is also available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Android TV, and Roku streaming platforms. Well, Sauk Valley already handled an early punch from the Cobras. After falling behind 10-5, they rallied back. And we went back and forth there for a sequence in this first set, but the Cobras, a little bit of breathing room, 15-12 out of the timeout from head coach Jay Howell of the Skyhawks in his 11th year, 251 and 133 in his tenure with the Skyhawks. Serving out of the timeout for the Cobras will be Brandon. Her right-hander is dug by Sands. Sanders, the pass ahead to Grieve, comes near side, Everett waiting for it. Smith going to go right back to Everett on the near side. Far side, Sands gets down and digs this one. Kraft to Grieve. Dig in the back row and gets it to fall right in front of Linton, who was a little late to react on the kill from Lexi Grieve. The sophomore from Seneca really had a nice performance, as I mentioned earlier, in that matchup earlier against Walter State, a straight sweep for the Skyhawks. Smith, far side, Richardson blocked back to the back row. Linton lunges back and keeps it alive. Smith comes near side for Everett, blocked back again, and Linton can't get this one. It was Grieve and Lytle on the front row who were there to affect the shot from Everett. And Sauk Valley gets the first two out of the break. As Sanders rotates out, into serve is Carlson. Her right-hander done by Everett. Smith goes to the middle for Richardson. Pushes a free ball to the corner for Carlson. Kraft looking near side. Grieve again into the block and down. And Grieve has a couple of points back-to-back to tie us up at 15. The response that Coach Jay Howell was looking for after reaching into his pocket for one of those timeouts. The serve from Carlson, dug by Everett. Smith sets it for Everett. Off the block, kept alive by Grieve. Kraft far side for Rotella. Off the block and out of play, and the Skyhawks have the lead with a 4-0 run, 16-15. The 10 seed takes the advantage, and now Coach Hastings will look for a little timeout magic as he calls one from the Cobras sideline. Great sequence there, and for the Skyhawks as Grieve coming out of the block, able to get it off to Kraft. Rotella then does the rest, hitting it off of Kaiser, and out of play for the Sauk Valley Skyhawks, who hold a 1-point lead here in set number 1 of our first quarterfinal matchup at the D2 National Champions, NJCAA National Volleyball Championships, I should say. Order your official 2021 NJCAA Women's Division II Volleyball National Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shop.njcaa.org to view exclusive National Championship and NJCAA merchandise. For your first order, you can receive 10% off using the promo code WELCOME10, and all orders over $75 receive free shipping. Visit shop.njcaa.org and order your official championship gear today. Back on the floor here in set number 1, it is Sauk Valley with the serve. Carlson gets ready to slap it into play, does so. Parkland plays it. Smith going far side to Richardson, try to tip it over the block. It was sent right back at her. She keeps it alive in the net. Everett over the block. Rotella backs it up. Kraft for Grieve, blocked back by Everett. Sauk Valley tried to keep it alive out of the net, but the last punch from Lytle came right back to the floor. And the Cobras get a side out of the timeout from Coach Hastings. Richardson takes a seat. Klassen comes in to serve in her spot. Right-hander is dug by Sands on a knee. Kraft comes back to it, going far side to Rotella, dug by Linton. Smith, near side for Everett, tips it over the block. Kraft reaches back. Now Carlson adjusts, bump set far side. Rotella has it blocked back as Kaiser and Smith were in the area, and based on a reaction, I think it was Smith who was the one who got most of that volleyball. 17-16, Cobras back in front. As the service from Klassen, handled by Sauk Valley. Rotella on the attack, dug by the Cobras. Everett with a big swing, got it in front of Sands, and the lead goes back to 2. 18-16. New volleyball for Klassen. They have several of those Tachikara volleyballs ready to go, sanitized, of course, for the players' safety. Big swing from Lytle, just too far. Didn't catch the back line that time from the sophomore Shannon Lytle out of Amboy. 19-16 Cobras. This time the serve goes into the net from Klassen. Side out to Sauk Valley. Sanders checks in place of Grieve, relieving her on the front line, and it will be Sands to serve. Over on the far court, 18-14 it appears. The lead is in favor of the Iowa Central Tritons. And of course has big bearing on this match as a big swing from Everett hit right off the arms of Kraft on the near side, and the Cobras get it right back. Third kill from Hallie Everett. Winner of this match faces the winner of that Catawba Valley and Iowa Central matchup. That would be tomorrow night in the semifinals, scheduled for 6:30 here on Court 2. The loser would play tomorrow at 2:30 in the consolation match between the one who drops that match over in court number 1. Big swing from Sperling, who has checked in, hits it off the block and out of play, and the Cobras once again back in front by 4, 21-17, as Everett retreats again behind the service line. Trying to clinch an opening set win. 4 points away from doing so is Parkland. Right-hander from Everett, dug by Sands. Kraft looking far side, punched over by Sanders. It missed, and luckily it did, as Everett comes up holding up the number 1 on her hand. As she did give it a diving effort, but luckily not to touch that Tachikara volleyball before it hit the deck. And a timeout, the second and final one called by Jay Howell, head coach of the Skyhawks. When he called the last one, they came out and went on a nice 4-0 run. They could certainly use one trailing 22-17 here in the latter stages of the opening frame. Vance Tachikara is proud to be the official volleyball of the NJCAA and has generously provided all balls for NJCAA National Championship play for over 30 years. Tachikara, we've got the ball, you bring the game. As you see the Skyhawks break the huddle and head back on the floor, Coach Hastings for Parkland didn't have much to say during his brief moment with his squad, as Everett is going to check out here out of the timeout. Entering for the first time is the freshman number 12, Sasha Zuckerman. See down there, the Cobras in the yellow jerseys waiting to sub in. And it will be Zuckerman to serve for Everett. So we'll see how this substitution pays off for Coach Hastings. Her right-hand serve is going to be done by Sands. Kraft looking for Sanders. Got it down. A little late to react was Zuckerman on that back row. And a side out to Sauk Valley. 22-18, Cobras lead. As Everett right back up off the bench to relieve Zuckerman. Lytle and Kraft take a seat with Goff and Lovegren rotating in for Sauk Valley. Skyhawks team, for you Cobra fans that maybe haven't seen them yet this year or watched with us earlier, they run a 6-2 under head coach Jay Howell. And so Goff rotates in at one point and Kraft does at the other time. As Sperling with a big swing hits it off of Sands on the back row to give it right back to the Cobras. 23-18, the lead is 5. Sorter rotates in on the front row for the Parkland Cobras. As Katie Kaiser awaits the serve. No, she'll be subbed out for her serve. Riley Swierbert, the freshman out of Grand Haven, Michigan. Coach Hastings reached into the old mitten up there, the old glove state, and brought her in to Champaign, Illinois. Sands digs the serve, having to come back to it was Rotella. Back up front, a free ball returned by Lovegren. Smith sets it up for Sperling. Another big swing. This time, though, on the dig, it was number 4, Goff. Sperling's going to try it again. Sanders back up over the net. Now Smith for Sorter off of Sands. This one goes out of play, and it'll be set point for the Parkland Cobras. 24-18. Jaden Sorter with her second kill of the match and trying to close it out from behind the service line. Will be Parkland's number 7, Summerlin Smith. No, excuse me, that was 2, Swierbut, but it was a bit long that time. A service error keeps the Skyhawks alive from set point number 1. She comes out as Klassen checks back in. And serving is Rotella for Sauk Valley. Everett with the overhead dig. Sperling, a little roll shot off the set from Smith, who had to reach for it. Goff sets it for Carlson. Got it down on the line on the far side. Set point number 2. Out of the way. Cobras still lead by 4, 24-20. Rotella to serve again. Her right-hander will be dug on a knee by 18 Klassen. A joust at the net is won by Smith between her and Carlson, and that's how our first set comes to an end. The Cobras take it 25-20 against Sauk Valley to earn the early 1-love lead. Still a lot of volleyball to be played, and we've got set number 2 coming up for you in just minutes as you're watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championships on the NJCAA Network.
The new 5W Prime from Tachikara. Our new T-Tech micro leather is engineered to enhance ball control. Tachikara.
Over 30 majors in 4 divisions.
Nursing, education, criminal justice,
exercise science.
This is one of the very few schools to honor leadership with scholarship.
Our students go out into the world with confidence.
I know who I am.
Pfeiffer has it all. The only thing that's missing is you.
W Prime from Tachikara. Our new T-Tech micro leather is engineered to enhance ball control. Tachikara.
Keep up with the latest news and updates regarding NJCAA volleyball by visiting the official website of the National Junior College Athletic Association at www.njcaa.org. Getting ready for set number 2 here in our quarterfinal matchup between the 2-seed Parkland Cobras and the 10-seed Sauk Valley Skyhawks. Cobras taking set number 1, 25-20. Here in the third battle of the season between these two. Parkland took it in straight sets back on February 20th. The second time around back in Dixon, Illinois, the home of the Skyhawks. It was the Cobras winning in 4 with Sauk Valley taking the second set, as a matter of fact, in that matchup. See what happens in this one. It will be Cobra serve to open us up. Summerlin Smith awaiting behind the service line to get us started. Excuse me, I apologize. It's actually Brittany Linton, number 5. Both liberos have checked in. Brandon for Parkland and Sands for Sauk Valley. And away we go in set number 2 as Everett comes away with a block right out of the gate. It was almost saved by Rotella, but it ends up out of bounds. Hallie Everett with a solo block right up front to give the Cobras the early advantage here in set number 2. As I mentioned, the winner goes on to face the winner of Iowa Central and Catawba Valley. Happening right now over on Court 1. Joel McCall has the call on the NJCAA Network Court 1 feed. Richardson with a big swing, dug by Rotella. Nice job on the back row. Hitting it up high is Carlson. Sanders with a wrist shot over the net to Smith. Brandon sets it up for Everett. Right-hander, dug overhead by Rotella. Goff to Carlson, dug by Brandon. Smith looking for Richardson over the top, diving down and trying to save it with Sands, but it did hit the deck. And the Cobras start with a 2-love lead. That semifinal matchup for tomorrow would be at 6:30 here on Court 2. I'll be on the call for you. And the consolation match would be on Court 1 at 2:30 between the loser of this one and the loser of that Iowa Central and Catawba Valley matchup. As the Skyhawks get on the board, Sanders with a nice attack on that near side, going cross court and finding the floor on the left. Second kill for Kylie Sanders. Her, Grieve, and also Emma Carlson were really instrumental in that straight set win against Walters State earlier this afternoon, as Sorter and Everett come together to create a wall above the net and send it back where it came from on the attack from the Skyhawks. Those two can make life very difficult for any hitter when they get together. 3-1, Parkland leads. Brandon to serve as Sorter rotates out. Dug by Sands on the low serve. Goff sets it up far side for Grieve, handled by Linton. Smith over to Everett through the block, punched up by Grieve, kept alive by Carlson, and now Sands returns a free ball to Linton. Smith, middle for Kaiser, left-hand tip around the block, dug by Goff diving down. Sands bumps into Sanders' back row off the top tape, dug by Linton diving down. Here's Everett on the attack, got it down as Sands wasn't able to reach over and make a play on the volleyball. 4-1. Cobras with the lead. Off the serve, Brandon to her fellow libero Sands. Big swing. Carlson got that one down in front of Brandon that time. Nothing the libero could do about that, as Carlson came through with bad intentions on the volleyball. In that first set, it was Iowa Central taking it 25-18, by the way, over on court number 1. So they have the early 1-love lead, as Parkland does here. And the Cobras lead 4-2 in set number 2, as Kraft rotates in, as does number 10, Lytle. A quick tip over the block from Richardson. Having to try to curl it around from way out of bounds is Grieve, but unable to do so. It'll be Parkland volleyball on the side out. Richardson comes out. Klassen checking in to serve for Coach Hastings and the Cobras. As Klassen sets her sights on this serve. A right-hander dug by Sands. Kraft far side for Grieve over the top of the block and out of play. Grieve adds another kill to her stat line. Give her 4 in the match. Her, Carlson, and Sanders again really carry the load when it comes to the offensive side for the Skyhawks. Serve from Klassen, handled by Sauk Valley. Up front on the attack, Carlson has it sent right back again. This time it was Kaiser and Everett that were together on the front row. And I know I said Sorter and Everett certainly make a wall. That one while it may not be brick, it's pretty darn sturdy too with those two up above the tape. 7-2, Cobras lead. Kraft in the middle looking for Lytle. Had it sent right back. This time a solo block by Kaiser, making her presence known near early on in set number 2. And the Cobras extend the lead to 6. Klassen to serve again. Right-hander dug by Sands. Kraft near side looking for Carlson. An overhead dig there. It's a joust at the net. Won by Smith as Lytle got it away off to the back row. Now blocked back by Kaiser, but again, Sauk Valley able to play it on the attack. Carlson's long on the near side. And a timeout's going to be called by Jay Howell quickly as Parkland has opened up a 9-2 advantage here in set number 2 after they took the first 25-20 against their rivals from the land of Lincoln. Just next door to us here in Iowa, over to the east, Illinois, the Sauk Valley Skyhawks. Fans, you can follow all the action of the 2021 NJCAA National Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to www.njcaatv.com to view live and archived broadcasts of all NJCAA national tournaments. The NJCAA Network is also available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Android TV, and Roku streaming platforms. If you have a smart TV, you can put us on the big screen and watch with us here at the Division II Volleyball National Championships running through Thursday. We will crown a champ on Thursday night. A lot of volleyball to be played between now and then, though, and we're going to be happy to have it for you here on the NJCAA Network. Here on Court 2, I'm Dwayne Cook. Running the board is Chase, and our camera operators here this afternoon, well, all day long, have been Carson and Luigi, really being troopers for us behind the camera. Thanks to all those guys for helping us put on a successful broadcast thus far. Knock on wood, and with a couple still to go on the day. Diving down to save the serve is Sanders. It's able to be played out of the net by Kraft off to Sands as we are back underway. Everett with a big swing, blocked back by Carlson. Brandon keeps it alive. And now Smith sends a free ball over to Sauk Valley. Right back over. Carlson sent it back. Kaiser sets off a pass from Smith, and with a big kill, gives the Cobras the point. Boy, it was a mad scramble defensively for Parkland before that. But Kaiser and Smith able to get on the same page and make the Skyhawks pay. The first kill for number 10, Katie Kaiser, the sophomore out of Tolono, Illinois. 8-point lead for Parkland. A big swing from Grieve, kept alive by Kaiser. Klassen hits it high in the air, off to Everett on the near side. Sands gets underneath it. Kraft coming near side for Carlson. She's long on the shot. And the lead is 9, 11-2 for Parkland. The timeout this time from Coach Howell, not leading to a run as it did in that first set. You got to wonder, too, how much it weighs on a team whenever you've played a team twice already and it just hasn't gone your way. It's tough. It's a mental block that you really have to try to avoid, and it's a lot easier said than done, as Sauk Valley does finally end the run of Parkland with a nice attack that time from number 10, Shannon Lytle, her second on the board. Serving is Carlson, dug by Linton of Parkland. Smith sets it up for Kaiser, off the block into the official stand. Right back to the Cobras. Sands comes in for Sanders for Sauk Valley. Linton checks out. Sperling back in on the front row for Parkland with Everett to serve. Back to a 9-point lead for the Cobras as well, 12-3. Right-handed serve from Everett, dug by Sands. Kraft looking far side and a bit long on the swing from Rotella. The lead is double digits for Parkland, 13-3. Everett. Sands able to play it, and then Kraft didn't react in time. I don't know if she just wasn't quite expecting it or what the case was, but just a step delay was enough for Everett to pick up her second ace serve of the match. And the Cobras lead at 14-3. Everett's next serve dug by Sands into the net. Kraft had to play it. Left-hander from Sands was unable to be returned. As it came out of the net, Kraft hit it right back to the libero Sands, and another ace serve from Everett. That will be another timeout drawn from the sideline as Coach Jay Howell, he actually remains on the bench for the time being. He's going to let his assistants talk it over with the ladies in the huddle. 15-3, all Parkland here in set number 2, leading by 12. Order your official 2021 NJCAA Women's Division II Volleyball National Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shop.njcaa.org to view exclusive national championship and NJCAA merchandise. For your first order, you can receive 10% off using the promo code WELCOME10, and all orders over $75 receive free shipping. Visit shop.njcaa.org and order your official championship gear today. Well, Sauk Valley's got to figure out something quickly here if they want to try to make a run in this second set, already trailing 1-0 in the match after a 25-20 opening frame going the way of the Cobras. Right now, Parkland, the 2 seed, flexing their muscle with a 12-point lead, 15-3 here in the frame. Everett's serve out of the break is high off the arms of Rotella. Sands on the back row gets it back to Rotella on the far side. Dug by Brandon on her attack. Smith to Sperling. Dug there by Carlson. Kraft going far side for Rotella. Reaching back, Everett with a good pass back to Smith. Middle for Kaiser. Far side, Sands was ready to play it. Kraft to Grieve through the block and back down on the Sauk Valley side. The Skyhawks were having some success early on getting through those blocks, but recently it has just been a wall above the top tape, it seems like, when these hitters try to attack this Cobra defense. Overpass, and Kaiser knew just what to do with it. Off the arms of Rotella. And the serve from Everett. 17-3. As Grieve will take a seat. Sanders rotates in for Sauk Valley. Oh, excuse me, they must have had a late call there on the play of where it was in net violation perhaps on the swing, but it doesn't matter. Parkland's going to get it back anyway off a big swing from Sperling, getting it down in front of Carlson. It was Sands serving. My apologies on that. I was moving on to the next point. Sorter rotates in. 17-4 is the lead for the Cobras. And I think Coach Hastings is going to make a substitution here in place of Kaiser to serve. Yes, number 20, Ella Gotzel, freshman at 5'8", will come in for Kaiser to try her hand behind the service line. 13-point lead for Parkland, 17-4. Right-hander on the way, dug by Sands. Far side, Sanders comes back near side to Rotella, an overhead dig there by Klassen. Sperling with a big swing, but it's sent right back by Lytle. Up front, nice job up front by Shannon Lytle on the attack. You see the initial swing here from Rotella. Good play defensively, and Smith sets it up, but right there to send it back was Lytle. 17-5. Cobra still in front by 12, but a side out to Sauk Valley. Goff serves as she rotates in. Up front, Smith's going to quickly dump one off to the far side and finds an opening. Next to Sands, 18-5, right back over to Parkland. The Cobras have just really not allowed Sauk Valley to go on any kind of run here in this second set at all. Klassen comes out. Linton is going to serve. Richardson rotates in up front for Parkland. Carlson's pass up front. It was tipped back by Sperling, I believe. And will it be 4 or? I believe that was. No, they call a net violation on Parkland, as a matter of fact. I was wondering if that would get that, they would get that Sperling for that. And that is the case. So Rotella will get ready to serve for Sauk Valley as Coach Hastings is having a quick word with his setter, Summer Smith. The sunshine and rainbows of the Cobras. That is exactly how Coach Hastings described her as a player, as he wants Smith to go over and talk with the head official and ask a question on that last play. And of course, right there alongside Emma Carlson, looking for or listening to the explanation as well. And so Smith reports back to her head coach Hastings, who then sits back on the sideline, and we're ready to continue here in set number 2 with Parkland leading 18-6. Brandon digs the serve. Smith sets it up for number 19 Sperling, who gets it down between the legs of Rotella on the back row. Parkland gets it back again. Linton is going to check in for Klassen. Get her new volleyball while she's at it to go and serve. Parkland well on their way to a commanding 2-love lead here in the match. Of course, after that last first round match between Johnson County and Pima, that doesn't mean quite that much. As Carlson on the far side, able to hit it through the block and it goes out of play. to add another kill to her stat line, up to 4 now in the match. Sands rotates out. It'll be Sanders to serve for Sauk Valley. Just off the top tape, Everett stays with it. Smith far side for Richardson, dug by Sanders. Up front, Goff over to Carlson, blocked back, but there to play it was number 11, Rotella, and then stepping over the line. Oh, they called 2 on Grieve, as a matter of fact. I thought they might have her for that foot over the half-court stripe, but either way, it will be Parkland's point, 27. In comes Kaiser once again to replace number 20, Godsell. A little bit of play in time for the freshman. And Brandon will serve the libero for the Cobras. A right-hand jump serve dug by Sands. Goff in the middle, blocked back up front again. This one goes to Everett once more. Her and Kaiser had the wall set up front, 21-7. Cobras lead by 14, 4 points away from a 2-love lead. Right-hander dug by Sands. Goff looking near side for Lovegren, who's checked in, dug by Brandon. Smith for Richardson, tips it over the block, and nobody backing it up. Lovegren tried to get there, just a step too late. 22-7. It looks like Coach Hastings is again going to put in a substitution. Smith is going to come out. The backup setter, Sophie Young, will get a little time here. You see just a nice little finesse shot over the top of both Grieve and Carlson on that far side for that last point for the Cobras. 22-7. Parkland leads Brandon to slap it into play. Ducked by Sands. Goff looking for Carlson. Blocked back Kaiser. Goodness. It has just not come easy for these hitters of Sauk Valley, especially here in this second set. 23-7 as Brandon serves again. Dug by Sands. Goff going to go far side for Carlson. Tips it over the block this time. A little late to react with Sophie Young behind the block. It'll be a side out to Sauk Valley. But with a lot of work to do, trailing by 15, 23-8 here in the second set. Lovegren comes out, as does Goff. Kraft and Lytle check in as you see Madison Kraft get ready to serve one into play. Her right-hander's dug by Linton. Sophie Young comes back to it. A bump set for Everett on the near side. Dug by Sanders. Kraft going to set it up for Sanders on the back row. Linton another great dig. Young far side for Richardson over the block. Punched up by Lytle, which gave her libero Maddie Sands no chance. As she thought it was going to be coming over the block anyway. It was there to back it up. Set point for the Parkland Cobras, 24-8. As Richardson will come out, 18, Isabella Klassen, the sophomore out of Hartsburg, Illinois, will go back to serve and try to give her team a 2-love lead in the match. Right-hander and overhead dig by Sands. Lytle the pass to Sanders, gets it down on the far side. Nice attack from the back row for Kylie Sanders, a freshman who has played a key role this year for the Skyhawks and certainly will next year as well for Sauk Valley. No doubt about that. They'll be happy to have her back in Dixon, I can assure you. The serve from Carlson is dug by Everett. She gets the set back from Young and finds an opening on the back row in the corner to wrap up the second set. A commanding 25-9 victory for the Parkland Cobras on the 5th kill from Hallie Everett. We'll step aside for a short break, get you ready for set number 3 when we return to the Alliant Energy Powerhouse. You're watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championships on the NJCAA Network.
The new 5W Prime from Tajikara. Our new T-Tech micro leather is engineered to enhance ball control. Tajikara.
Over 30 majors in 4 divisions.
Nursing, education, criminal justice.
Exercise science. This is one of the very few schools to honor leadership with scholarship.
Our students go out into the world with confidence.
I know who I am.
Pfeiffer has it all. The only thing that's missing is you.
W Prime from Tajikara. Our new T-Tech micro leather is engineered to enhance ball control. Tajikara.
Fans, Tajikara is proud to be the official volleyball of the NJCAA and has generously provided all balls for NJCAA National Championship play for over 30 years. Tajikara, we've got the ball, you bring the game. Sauk Valley certainly going to have to bring the game here in set number 3 to avoid trying to avoid the sweep, I should say, against the Parkland Cobras, as Parkland out in front 2 sets to love, 25-20 and 25-9 thus far through the first couple of sets. They just wrapped up set 2 as well over on the far court between Iowa Central and Catawba Valley. Of course, that one matches up with this part of our bracket. I'll update you on that score momentarily as Kratz sets it up for Sanders. It's dug by Linton. Smith far side. Richardson had it blocked back up front, getting a piece of it. It looked like was Lytle, Also there in the area was Sanders too, and the Skyhawks will start with the 1-love lead here in the third. Sands, right-hand serve, dug by her fellow libero, Brandon. They go right to Sorter, who's been quiet, and a lot of the times it's because the production is coming while she's on the sideline rotating out, and she comes away with a kill right out of the gate here in the third frame. 1-all as she's replaced by Kaiser out there in the rotation. Brandon to serve. Right-hand serve goes into the net from Brandon. That was one thing Parkland was able to really avoid in that second frame, was those unforced errors. We talked about how they lead the nation in a serve, sure, but also service errors at that. But they didn't do much of that in the second set at all. As Kraft comes out, Goff checks in. Also, Lovegren is in on the front row for Sauk Valley in place of Lytle. Everett with a big swing, but Sands is there to dig. Sanders on the attack. Linton gets underneath it. Smith, the bump set, back to the near side for Everett. Off the top tape, sent right back over with the left arm by Rotella, and a free ball return quickly to Sauk Valley. Skyhawks set, block up front. Sanders had it come right back at her off the hands of Richardson. Sands tried to keep it alive, but it ended up in the net, and the Cobras get the point as Klassen checks in for Richardson to go behind the service line. Our second to last match of the evening coming up after this one. We'll have one of the other quarterfinal matchups. The only other one here on court number 2 between Kirkwood, the hometown team, and Johnson County. Should be a fun one between the Eagles and Cavs right here on the NJCAA network as Everett's attack is long to the outside. And Sauk Valley gets the side out, 3-2. Substitution here as coming in, we'll see for the first time, Cassie Bushman, a sophomore from Polo High School out of Illinois. Check in to serve for Coach Jay Howell. Right-handed serve is dug by Linton. Smith's going to set it up here for number 9, Everett, through the block and down in front of Sands. And that was short-lived for Bushman behind the service line. Side out to Parkland. It was 25-14 Iowa Central in the second, so the Tritons are out in front 2-love in their match and on their way to possibly meeting this Cobras team. And another service error, though, from Everett. Gives it back to Sauk Valley. So the Skyhawks will put behind the line number 8, Kylie Sanders. Her right-hander's Doug. Smith, near side for Sperling. That caught the line on the far side. She curved it down from near side to far. And Sperling gives it right back to the Cobras. Back and forth we go. Sorter coming in. as she rotates in at her spot at the front row. Right-handed serve from Kaiser into the net. That is 3 straight trips behind the service line that Parkland has hit one into the net. Starts to become a little bit of an infection, if you will, as Kraft checks in place of Goff, as does Lytle in place of Lovegren for Sauk Valley. Kraft to serve. Her right-hander is dug by Klassen. Smith looking for Sorter. It's dug by Sanders on the back row. Now Kraft sets it to Carlson. A nice joust at the net is won by Carlson, but it stays alive by the Parkland defense. Kraft looking on the near side for Carlson, pushes a free ball to Brandon. Smith gonna set back row. Everett on the attack, dug by Kraft. Sands, though, unable to play it on the second. She comes up a little gimpy after going for that volleyball, but looks like she's okay as she meets her teammates in the huddle. Richardson comes in place of Klassen, and serving will be Smith for the Parkland Cobras, all knotted at 5 here in set number 3. Smith serve, dug by Sanders. Kraft, quick set in the middle, and it works off of Sorter from the right hand of Lytle. 6-5, Sauk Valley gets it right back. Bushman will check in place of, it's Rotella checking in place of Bushman, who was subbed out in place of Sands. Got to always have that right in the game of volleyball. Don't want to be called for out of rotation. And they serve for Sauk Valley. Getting it that time was Carlson. Hitting it off, I believe, of Everett. And a timeout will be called by Cliff Hastings. Doesn't like the start to the set for his Cobra squad. The Skyhawks lead at 7-5 here in the third frame, but with work to do, trailing 2-0 in the match. Keep up with the latest news and updates regarding NJCAA volleyball by visiting the official website of the National Junior College Athletic Association at www.njcaa.org. Happy to have you on this quarterfinal Tuesday evening here at court number 2 at the Allied Energy Powerhouse. Dwayne Cook on the NJCAA network here with you. It will be Sauk Valley serve out of the timeout. Awaiting to serve is Carlson. She gets the whistle ready for play and slaps it in. Dug by Sperling. Up front, Smith. One-hand tip to Sorter. Sends it to the back row. Carlson handles it. Kraft to Rotella. Brandon keeps it alive. Smith back row attack for Everett. Handled by Carlson once more. Grieve on the near side. Had it sent right back. It was Sorter and Sperling in the area. I think it was Sorter who got the most of it. In comes number 5, Brittany Linton for Parkland. Taking a seat is Sperling. Litton's right-hander, dug by Sands. Kraft, pass, far side for Rotella, dug by Linton. Smith, near side for Everett over the top of the block. A pancake in the donut from Carlson, but then nobody else in red could get to it for the Sauk Valley Skyhawks. Another nice swing from Everett. We've seen that a lot here in this match. Her 8th kill, as a matter of fact. All knotted at 7 in set number 3. Sands the pass to Kraft. She has to come back to it. Big swing from Carlson. An overhead dig by Linton. Smith got a piece of it. Everett tried to tip it over. It was blocked back. Linton saved it. Now Everett with a roll shot to Sands. Kraft going far side for Rotella. Over the block. A nice overhead dig by Linton. Far side. Richardson over the block. Sands backs it up. Going on to his Grieve. Blocked back by Sorter, but kept alive by the Skyhawks. Rotella, though, cannot return it. Hitting it into the net. And Parkland takes the lead, 8-7. Linton heads back to serve. Her right-hander dug by Rotella. Kraft comes back to it, finds Carlson, who's swinging with just reckless abandonment. And they're going to call 2 prior to that on the pass to Carlson, as a matter of fact. 9-7 Cobras. Dug by Rotella. To the middle, Kraft near side for Grieve, dug by Smith. Brandon sets it up far side for Richardson. Sands reaches that right arm up there and got a piece of it, but nobody home on the front row. And the run continues for the Cobras. They lead it by 3, 10-7. Right-hand serve from Linton, dug by Sands. Far side, Rotella off the block and out of play as Sauk Valley gets the side out. In comes Sanders on the front row in place of Grieve, and Sands will serve. I mentioned this in the matchup against Walter State. She likes to put a lot of spin on that volleyball before when she tosses it up to serve it. Sorter just almost palming the volleyball and sending it down to the middle of the floor. Nothing Sauk Valley can do about that defensively. Sorter's third kill as she rotates out. 11-8 Cobras. Right-hand serve from Brandon, dug by Sands. Kraft far side for Sanders. Blocked back and in the court of play as Kaiser and Richardson were there for the double block. 12-8. Parkland in front by 4. Brandon's right-hander dug by Sands. Kraft for Sanders, dug by Linton. Smith near side. Everett off the block and down. Parkland, whenever they're on defense, it just seems like almost every one of their blocks comes down in their favor, whereas Sauk Valley has just not had that same luck tonight defensively in this match as the Cobras take a 5-point lead and Jay Howell uses his first timeout of the set. 13-8 Parkland with the lead here in set number 3, trying to advance to tomorrow's semifinals. Order your official 2021 NJCAA Women's Division II Volleyball National Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shop.njcaa.org to view exclusive National Championship and NJCAA merchandise. For your first order, you can receive 10% off using the promo code WELCOME10, and all orders over $75 receive free shipping. Visit shop.njcaa.org and order your official championship gear today. Skyhawks getting ready to break the huddle. Cobra is already out on the court. Coach Hastings hasn't taken much time at all during these timeouts to chat with his team. There hasn't been a whole lot to talk about since a pretty tightly contested 25-20 first set. That 25-9 second was dominated wire to wire by the Cobras. But still with 12 points to go before they can officially Sharpie their name in on the bracket to the semifinal. Sanders on the attack through the block and out of play. Nice setup out of the timeout for Sauk Valley as Goff is off the bench and Lovegren too, replacing Lytle and Kraft. And it will be Goff to go back and serve. Trailing by 4, 13-9. Cobras. Right-handed serve dug by Everett. Bump set. Smith to Everett. Falling out of bounds on the near side. Handled by Carlson. Goff sets for Sanders. Was it blocked back? No, it came out of the net this time. 4 on Sauk Valley. But even then, that's what the block can do to you as a hitter. It just gets in the back of your mind where you start to think, or start to overthink, really, what you're doing with your fundamentals and where you're going with the volleyball. Serve is dug by Sands. It's Goff in the middle, setting it for Carlson, handled by the Parkland defense. Back over to Sands. Goff sets it up for Sanders. An overhead dig by Linton. Smith comes near side for Everett. Got it down on the back row. It's really pretty amazing how Hallie Everett is able to just control that volleyball on her attacks. I mentioned earlier she's hitting at 308 with now close to well over 350 kills on the season as Kaiser gets another block up at the net at 16-9 Cobras. On another outstanding defensive display from Parkland. Klassen slaps it into play. It's dug by Carlson. Goff, far side, a whistle, and 2 is called on Goff. And it's 17-9 Cobras as they push the lead up to now 8. Klassen serve dug by Sands. Goff, far side, looking for Sanders. Through the double block, and it came back down. Kaiser turned around to see where it ended up, but it ended up at her feet. And Sanders gets the kill. The third for Kylie Sanders. Rotella to serve for Sauk Valley. Her right-hander will be dug by Everett. Smith comes over to it. It's going to go right back to Everett on the near side. Blocked back out of bounds as Sanders and Lovegren were there. Side out Back to Parkland, 18-10 Cobras, as it will be Everett to serve. Linton takes a seat. Sperling checks back in for Parkland. Ali Everett's right-handers dug by Sands. Goff near side for Sanders. Blocked back but out of bounds this time. Sperling caught the most of it. Skyhawks trail by 7, 18-11. Kylie Sanders from the middle with her right hand serve, dug by Everett over to Carlson on the overpass. Grieve comes through, diving down to save it was Klassen. Now Sperling with a roll shot over the top of the tape. Goff gets there. Now far side, Carlson handled by Klassen. Sperling shot long, but they said it was touched up at the net off the block of Sauk. I forgot how to say it now. Sauk Valley. My apologies. 5th kill for Sperling as Sorter rotates in. Brandon comes out. And we see number 2, Riley Swearbutt come in to serve in place of Kaiser. Swearbutt with the right-hand serve. Long. Missed that back line. The lead back down to 7 for the Cobras. 19-12 as right back up off the bench is the libero Brandon in place of Swearbutt. Also, Lovegren and Goff come back to the sideline for the Skyhawks, and Kraft and Lytle back in the rotation. Sorter with a big swing off the set from Smith. It just seems like whenever she's out there, she's almost unstoppable on her attack. It's just, you kind of have that vibe when the set from Smith goes to Sorter, number 3 in gold. It just seems like good things happen for the Cobras. As Smith will serve. Her right-hander is dug by Sanders on a knee. Kraft comes back to it. Far side, Grieve over the top of the block. Dug behind by Smith. Brandon sets it up for Sperling. Gets it down in front of Sands. 21-12, the Cobras 4 points away from advancing to yet another semifinal. They have reached the championship match in the national tournament 6 of the last 7 years. 2017 being the only year they did not. The serve from Smith is dug by Sands. Kraft sets it up for Carlson. Dug overhead by Smith. Brandon far side for Richardson. Overhead dig by Sands. Sanders the pass ahead to Carlson. Finds room at the 10-foot line in the donut of the defense. Side out to Sauk Valley. 5th kill for Emma Carlson, who goes back to serve herself. Right-hander dug by Brandon. Smith going to set in the middle for Sorter. Off the block, out of play. It's just really tough on a defense when you think about all the avenues that you have to try to block and try to defend on that side of the net. When you're talking about Everett and Sorter coming at you, we've seen Richardson with some nice kills as well. There's just a lot of weapons to be dealt with for this Cobras team. 22-13, they lead by 9. Sorter blocks it back, but there to play it was Kraft. Sands the set for Carlson. Diving down to save it is Linton. Smith sets it for Richardson. Back row dug by Carlson. The pass to number 1 Kraft off to Rotella, played by Parkland. Here comes Everett through the block. Back over to the Parkland side. Smith, a bump set, goes right back to Everett again off the block. Diving down to save it is Kraft. Over the net, Sorter sends it back. Rotella plays it. Sands now back to the middle. Kraft sends a free ball to Linton. Smith. Far side, Richardson, dug by Carlson, but it goes out of play. A good rally, but Parkland still gets the point. The lead is 10, 23-13, 2 points away from that semifinal berth. The serve from Linton, dug by Sands. Kraft, middle for Lytle over the top of the block and found room. As late to react was number 7, Smith. Grieve comes out. Maddie Sands to serve. Her right-hander dug by Brandon. Smith sets it in the middle for Sorter through the block and down, and it is match point for the Parkland Cobras. 24-14, 10 of them to work with. As Katie Kaiser checks in place of Riley Swearbutt, excuse me. And Brandon will look to clinch it. Right-hander goes into the net. He'll have to wait at least 1 point. Side out. Sauk Valley. Goff rotates in, as does Lovegren. Kraft and Lytle to the sideline for Sauk Valley. And Goff will serve. Her right-handed serve over the net to Everett. Smith going to set it up for Kaiser through the block, backed up by Carlson. Goff looking to Sanders, and it caught the block. It'll be a point for the Skyhawks. They avoid match point number 2. How about 3? Goff sets her sights. Right-handed serve dug by Linton. Smith sets it. Everett through the block and down in front of Sands. That's how it'll come to an end. The Parkland Cobras are on their way to the semifinals with a straight set sweep of the Sauk Valley Skyhawks. Their 3rd win of the season against the Skyhawks. 25-20, 25-9, 25-16. And the clinching kill right here on the assist from Smith to Everett. Stay tuned with us. We got another quarterfinal matchup coming your way here shortly, as we will see the home team